we have watched them being Disney, and we'll lump them all in there. All the current studios: Disney, Warner Discovery, Paramount, Universal, because none of their hands are clean. There's blood on everybody's hands here. Amazon, Netflix, all of them. We have watched them destroy so much. Where do we go forward with entertainment here? And I know the answer is the Iron Age, but looking at before we get to that as an answer of what we think the future is going to look like, right now, I don't care about. And I was talking this about with Jed yesterday. I don't care. I haven't cared about movies coming out in a theater in 5 or 6 years. I mean, and every time I go, the couple times I've gone, I've been very underwhelmed. I haven't really enjoyed myself, and it's nothing that I personally want to, with the exception of Mario, that I want to put on my shelf. I'm not excited about Western entertainment anymore. I'm just not. I spend my time watching old stuff. I spend my time watching anime. I spend my time playing video games. And no, video games is not entertainment industry. It's video game industry for those who have a defect in their brain and can't understand that. So, I mean, it's just I don't see where we go from here. What do you guys think? Where's it going? It's irrelevant, is what I'm saying. Everything's becoming irrelevant.
My personal opinion is that I've lost interest in modern films. As a matter of fact, I've lost interest in modern media in general, and I believe the consensus for the overwhelming majority of the viewing public is the same, with a few exceptions. I remember when there used to be exceptions when films were bad. That's when I remember. I remember when movies, especially the summer blockbusters, back when that term actually meant something.
Mm.
It was an event level thing. It was building up to a lot of, like, you had a lot of fun films or mid card films throughout the year or TV shows, but then you go to the summer blockbuster and everybody's wrapped around the block. Hence, those are young enough that don't know what blockbuster mean. That's what it used to mean. Everybody lined around the block and goes to the movie. And I remember going to see movies that even weren't even by standards back then. I remember like 2007 when we went to go see Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 was still a major blockbuster film.
I
Wasn't that
hate that
great?
movie.
No, not
Hate
really.
that movie.
But
Passion.
at the
God,
same
so good.
time, there was still a lot of hype behind it. It was a lot of fun if you look towards certain aspects of it. Story, that's not important. But it was still something to look forward to. And that was like the exception. Just think about that. Spider-Man 3 was the exception to the rule. Most of these films at that time period, especially during summer blockbusters, were dynamite. That was an exception. Now that, and not even lower than that now, the level of quality is doo doo mixed with diarrhea sitting in the water treatment plant, didn't get used at all, urine and then vomit mixed together. That is where we're at now. That is where we're at. And that is the golden standard of cinema. Just think about that. Just think about that for a second. That's the standard of cinema.
I'm
Yeah.
When
trying not to
something
think about that for a second.
when something good and fresh and clean comes out, we're all surprised. Just think about it. Over the last, let's be generous, 5 years, when something good comes out, we're like, hey,
But
that
not
was actually
Dre.
pretty good.
When it comes out, a lot of us are don't go near it at first. It takes a few brave souls to test the waters. That
Exactly.
diarrhea infested water you mentioned. It takes a
Exactly.
few brave souls to do that. And a lot of us are like, okay, fine. I mean, perfect example, Picard season 3. A lot of us were ready to mock, destroy it, and want to know that it took people who were ready to take the hit, who were already knee deep in it, neck deep in Kurtzman trick to say, okay, I'm watching this anyway. I'll let you know. And then say, whoa, guys, we got a winner here. We got a winner. Terry Metalis, he did good. And then it's like, okay, fine, I'll check it out. And then it's like, it's a love letter. It's a thank you. It's an I'm sorry letter.
Exactly.
That's what we
And,
got. And then
and
and
that,
then we talked about it. We had a good
that's it.
time, but we knew what it was, an anomaly. And then we're right back where we are.
And that's the point. And Adam, that's my point. My point is that feel good feeling, or that movie you go see, like, oh man, that was really a great experience. That is now the anomaly. That is now once in a bazillion chance. The rest of it is absolute sewer diarrhea vomit water.
Mhm.
That's insane. And so
Now,
that's where I'm at with cinema. And so I'm pretty much done,
now,
essentially.
Don Kirito brings up a point here. Cinema is dead. TV shows where it's at now. Jed, that's a legitimate argument, an argument I made for a long time. But I feel like streaming is killing TV shows too.
Oh, absolutely. It's not a stable financial model because a lot of the people who are watching these shows are already subscribers. So there's no influx of money. That's why a lot of these streaming services are going to add tiers because that's the only way to make money because they get consistent payments for every ad view, which means it's consistent. Subscribers are making consistent money for the streaming services, which every view. That's the only way you can make any sort of profit on a streaming service, just like classic cable television did it. So yeah, cable television is yes, it's dying, but streaming is not becoming the replacement that they all hoped it would be. Television shows are just as likely to die in just as bad of a state, in my opinion, as cinema is. Neither is in a very good place overall, and it's not going to get much better, I think, because a lot of television shows aren't just good. Even beyond the financial aspect of it, television shows are just as likely to be bad these days as movies, and people are just as likely to not check them out. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say one is likely better than the other.
Oh, yeah, Don Kirito, I wasn't saying you're wrong. I was also using it as a launching point for the top for that topic section there. But I mean, you're right. I agree with you for a long time that I believe that TV shows had a better chance to tell a better story because
Oh,
they
I
would take
agree.
more time.
Yeah, they got more time to flesh out
That's
things. It's a
that's why
better
I
platform
believe that,
for a
and I
longer
still
story.
believe that. I still believe
100%.
that TV shows are the long form version of telling stories is much better suited for TV shows than movies because you're going to get a complete story. You're going to get time with it.
Absolutely.
You're going to get time with characters instead of just a quick 2 hours in and out.
Mhm.
I mean, that's kind of the reason why I'm honestly bored with modern cinemas because I'm tired of a quick 2 hours in and out.
Yeah.
I
I'd
want
much rather pick up a new show that I've never seen before,
yeah.
like Stargate. Everyone's pushing me to watch Stargate. I'm much more inclined to watch that than go to the cinema and watch a 2-hour movie
Yeah.
because I'm going to get a full story. I'm going to get interesting three-dimensional characters that have plenty of time to develop and
mean-
a full, vibrant world.
I mean, it's we've mentioned it once or in a stream. One Piece live action. One of the things I've heard about from One Piece live action, if people are saying, "I really enjoyed it, but I want to spend more time with the Straw Hats. I want to spend more time. I want to see them go on more adventures." And my answer is, go watch the anime, read the manga. You'll have a good time. But
It seems
yeah.
like
So
it's driving a lot of people to do that too.
yes, it is. But so to Dunk Kirito's point, I agree with the essential statement that TV it has become it was becoming better than cinema. Movies. It was becoming better. It was becoming a better entertainment option. I feel like streaming doesn't save anything.
No.
In fact, in a lot of ways, it made it worse for a long time. And I don't know, with all their restrictions for writers' rooms and diversity and that, I don't see where it's going to go. And also, it's time to decide either get rid of batch or go week to week. Batch
Yeah.
dropping. It's not good to keep something alive. And even though as a viewer, someone likes to watch stuff, I love watching things in marathon style.
100%.
But when it comes to making something profitable and successful, you need to generate discussion. And when something drops in a batch, especially where we have to sit down and maybe we're going to talk about it, but we all have different schedules. We all have different requirements in our life. We all can't get it in and watch at the same time. A perfect example is whenever Cobra Kai comes out, some of us watch it right away. Some of us don't get to it for a week or two. So we got to sit here and we can't talk about it. Or we risk ruining it for you guys in the chat who also have real life schedules. So we have to put up spoiler tags. We have to tell you we're talking about this and that. We have to dance around it. If it's a weekly thing, unfortunately, like Ahsoka, like Waste of Time, Wheel of Prime, okay, I can do my review, get it out. Somebody doesn't have to necessarily watch the show. They can watch your review or they can watch our time, but you give it especially when it gets to day like a Sunday, if it's a Wednesday show or a Thursday show or a Friday show, and now here we're on Sunday, okay, we're going to talk about it. It's on you if you haven't watched it in that much time.
Mhm.
You know we're going to talk about it. It's in the video title. It's in the
Yep.
stream title. You know what we're going to do.
Well, just imagine, I don't know, 22 weeks of epic buildup towards a great finale. If
Yeah.
it's good word of mouth, the amount of people who will watch and be excited for a finale is just something next level. But if you drop all 5 episodes of a binge show all at once, yeah, you're gonna get a little bit of buzz, and
I mean,
that's
you're also
it.
talking about a season being 5 to 8 episodes now.
And there's
It-
Yeah,
well,
that
no,
just
no, okay,
troubles
and
me 'cause
with
I
that-
grew up when
wrong
it was
with a
26.
shortened season. There's
It,
nothing wrong
it
with
has
season,
to
but it
make
needs
sense,
12.
but
It needs to be 12 episodes with no filler. And then that it shouldn't be 8 episodes and out. I mean, just right out. One Piece has been huge right now. And remember, if any veterans of the channel around there, 20-year One Piece fan. Dropping it in 8 episodes, while it's been great and done great, imagine if it had been a week to week right now. Now, some people made the argument that
it
they
would have been next level.
some people made the argument of only watching the 3. If I hadn't watched 3 episodes, they wouldn't have got into it. But you might have come back to it. You might have talked about it. You might have been teased. If One Piece had gone 8 weeks, I would have reviewed it. I would have reviewed it flat out because it's one of those things. It's something I know. It's something I'm very familiar with, something I very much love. I would have talked about it, reviewed it. We would have broken it down, and in the moment would have said, this is why I think it's working. This is why I don't think it's working. And I probably would have gotten a ton of pushback at the start. I still get pushback from our own chat whenever I talk about it sometimes. But I stick to my guns. I don't hate it. I think it's fine. It's just watered down One Piece made accessible to normies and anime newbies. That's what it is. And people, like Grubb said, are making the leap that Oda wanted them to and going to the anime, going to the manga. Point is, though, if One Piece had been 8 weeks of discussion, we would just be coming to the conclusion right now, just about.
And the viewership for that finale would have been astronomical. Because the word of mouth for this show is incredible. But
Huge.
even now, the hype for it is dying out. It could be at its highest of its entire run if it was week to week, but at this point, it's dying out.
That is one of those outliers of where you can still find things good. In the end, as we've talked about in the beginning of the stream, now here, the future is right here. Iron Age. The future is YouTube. People are more interested in watching us review shit than the actual show. Perfect example. We haven't talked about it because, one, Dre doesn't want to anymore, and I don't watch it. But we don't talk about Robin in the Hood. We don't talk about Robin Hood because I haven't watched it. Dre won't watch it anymore. But you know what? People want to talk about it, but they don't want to actually watch the show. They want to watch other people lose their minds watching the show.
Agreed.
I have
That's
no
what they wanna
desire to
watch.
ever see that show, but watch one of y'all watch it.
Yeah.
Well, my
that's
favorite
gold.
thing is so apparently the viewership from episode 1 to episode 2 only dropped 100,000 views.
From
The problem is episode 1 only got 200,000.
I was gonna say there wasn't that much to begin with. We are what's here. People want to watch us do this shit. They want to watch us talk about stuff. They want to watch us play video games. And then they want to go watch. They want to read Iron Age shit. They want to watch Iron Age shit. That is what they want. That is the future. The independent creator who is not shackled by this stuff. We're not shackled by diversity and inclusion. We don't care. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you'd like to reach out to me, please email me at theranernerd@gmail.com for all channel business purposes. I am on Twitter now, mostly for promotion and sharing of videos. Maybe a little shit stirring here and there. Who knows? @TheRenNerd. You can also find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can see me on Rumble and Odyssey under the Renaissance Nerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.